Flaunting their party logo in defiance, Panika Wanik is one of the most prominent faces of Thailand's now defunct Future Forward Party, or FFP. She, like other former party executives, has been banned from politics for 10 years, but that hasn't harmed her popularity. The former spokeswoman says she is determined to fight on.
If you keep worrying, you cannot do anything. Our primary goal is to change the country. If we are too worrisome for our own fate, we cannot do anything for the better country.
A sentiment echoed by many experts who say last week's ruling hurt not only the party but democracy itself.
So when you dissolve a future forward party like this, you basically disenfranchise and taking away the votes of more than 6.3 million people. And they will be very angry. And now they're left without any representation in parliament.
All week, students have been gathering at universities here in Bangkok and across the country to show their support for the FFP and to call for democracy.
I'm wondering whether the dissolution of the Future Forward may have crossed a threshold, may have been a turning point, because for the first time in the last 15 years, we've seen the student bodies of different universities taking a role, having a say in Thai politics.
My mood, keep going fighting. I believe in democracy.
Someone pushed down our right, but I will fight.
We're having some hope that one day the dictatorship in Thailand will be lost to the democracy.
Asked whether she thought Thailand could slide back into the old pattern of street protests and military interventions, Panika Wanik tries to dispel concerns but doesn't rule anything out.
It doesn't mean that we have to move from parliamentary democracy to just like chaotic street protests. No. At the end of the day, we might have to move towards that, unfortunately. But I still have high hope in the future of Thailand. We can make gradual change happen.
Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men?
Many in Thailand seem angry indeed and determined to prevent the wish for democracy in Thailand from becoming a thing of the past.
Janjira Sombatpoonsiri is a Thai political scientist, and she joins me now from Hamburg in Germany. Mrs. Sombatpoonsiri, thank you for making the time. Has the dissolution of Future Forward hurt democracy in Thailand?
Absolutely. The court case is first and foremost illegitimate, and therefore this has been widely seen as a way to get rid of the opposition. So the immediate impact is that right now there is a vote of confidence happening in the parliament, and the opposition hasn't gathered enough voices to put in their votes against the prime minister. So that's the immediate impact on democracy.
Speaking about democracy, it is the Constitutional Court that ordered the dissolution of Future Forward. Surely the Constitutional Court is itself a part of Thai democracy.
That has been a bit tricky. I cannot say much about the court because these days any criticisms about the court will land you in jail. But what I can say now is that the court has been partisan. And if you look at the history of party dissolution by the Constitutional Court, most of the parties being dissolved are the opposition or anti-establishment parties. So one can say that the court doesn't work in the pluralistic kind of mindset.
But the fact does remain that a majority of Thais in last year's election, did vote for former Army Chief Prayut Chan-o-cha's Palang Pracharat party, which would suggest that there is broad support for his style of democracy.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that this is a return to authoritarianism. I think we're seeing now is a semi-democratic regime which incorporates election to its repertoire. But what is happening is that usually the opposition should have, I mean, almost half of the seats in the parliament, in the lower house. And that is a great challenge to the ruling coalition. But with the dissolution of Future Forward, the opposition is weak, and therefore the ruling coalition can sustain its position of power for a while.
Just very briefly, do you see this potentially as a turning point for Thai democracy? Do you see, for example, younger people coming out onto the streets to protest this?
Yes, this has already happened right after the court verdict. It's a turning point in the sense that what you have now is angry supporters of the Future Forward, right? And 10 years ago, you also have angry supporters of Thaksin's party on the street.
Right.
So basically, the people who are dissatisfied with this kind of political trick has expanded from supporters of one party to another. And I think what would happen is that this dissatisfaction would keep spreading.
Janjira Sombatpoonsiri, thank you so much for your views.